Does any of you guys remember who the main villains were in this book? Yeah, no, I forgot to. But we're reintroduced to them in this one. Support the comic book industry and visit your local LCS. My name is Dorian. This is SEM Comics. We continue our coverage of X-Men number 14. Our story starts off at the factory, and now that Cyclops doesn't have to worry about keeping Professor Xavier in prison, he's back to being his normal self, and he's meeting with the chief of police, which we haven't seen in feels like forever. She comes and she's there because she needs to ask the X-Men for some help, and Cyclops is like, no problem, what do you need? And she's like, well, you guys got a spaceship. So Cyclops was like, does anybody need to be medevac anywhere? We can have them to the hospital in minutes. So Chief Police is like, well, it's not that, but, well, not yet anyway. We have a missing person, and hopefully your spaceship can help out tremendously when it comes to finding this person. So Cyclops was like, not a problem. All I need is name and inscription. And she goes, oh, it's a little girl, 13 years old, brown hair, brown eyes. You might have even seen her mother around. She's one of those anti-mutant crazies. The girl's name is Piper Cobb. For those of you who forgot about Pepper, that's the little girl who came to the X-Men. She came to Temper in particularly, and said that she was a mutant. They tested her and come to find out that she was normal. But then at the end of that issue, we saw that she was a mutant. So now we cut to Quentin. He's flying a Marauder, and he's like, I told you, I'm not sensing anything out there. And Cyclops is like, cast a wider net, Quentin. He's like, a wider net? Like, I'm casting the widest net I can. I'm searching for any kind of thinking life form. I'm coming up with nothing, Slim. And Cyclops like, don't call me that. So he's like, look, you know this kid means a lot to Temper, because Quentin, Quire, and Temper used to have a relationship. And Quentin's like, look, I am trying my best. I'm even using my old eyeballs, which I never do because you realize I wear glasses, right? And Cyclops was like, I know. I got somebody else on the job helping you out in that department. So then we cut to Jen, who's flying, and she's like, this is amazing. She's the one that the X-Men saved in, I think, X-Men number 4, where she was being attacked by Trevor Fitzroy and the Upstarts. And they thought that she had like a aquatic mutation. We'll come to find out she could just think it, and then she kind of like becomes it. So she could think about flying, she becomes a bird. She thinks about water, she becomes a fish. That kind of thing. Beast discovered it. And she doesn't need to know how to actually do something. Her body just does it. So she doesn't need to know how to fly. Her body just naturally takes over and does it. Beast thinks it's some kind of like internal instinct. Anyway, she not only can fly like a bird, but also has the eyes of a bird. So she's up there looking on the ground, seeing if she sees her. And Beast is like, just don't let your instincts take over too much, and you dive down on her thinking she's prey. So obviously Temper's pissed at Cyclops because this girl came to them looking for help. She thought that she was a mutant, come to find out she's not, and then they just sent her back to the same home that she was looking to find some help for. So Temper's like, if that little girl rather be in the cold than be in that crazy home, what's that say about us? So Temper storms off and is like, I'm going to go look for her now. Cyclops goes to Quantum and is like, so what do we do? So Quantum's like, she is physiologically incapable of freezing, so let her go search. So then we cut to Ben. He's a dude in the second issue who has the kind of reality warping powers, and he's trying to see if he can manifest maybe some spaceships, some alien spaceships, to like search around, but he's having issues. And the Magneto's right with him, and he's like, let me holler at you for a second. So the Magneto's like, I've been trying to take you under my wing with limited success. Can you think of any reason why I should? And Ben's like, well, older men are a kind of particular weakness for me. Magneto's like, it's not that kind of party, homeboy. So Magneto's like, your eagerness to be a part of the team has served you well. And also, too, you have adapted pretty well to being a mutant, considering you found out as an adult, which is definitely harder to take than finding out when you're like an adolescent. Ben's like, look, as a Chinese gay man, I've always been on the outside. That's why I wanted to get into stocks and make a lot of money, because making a lot of money comes with a little bit of power. And when you have a little bit of power, it's easier being on the outside. Being a mutant is just being on the outside, and that's somewhere I'm comfortable at. So Magneto's like, I know a little something about power. And unfortunately, my power can't be utilized anymore. And they kind of does the whole, with great power comes great responsibility. So you need to hone your power, because yes, your power is great. And you could pick up where I left off. So now we come back out to the search, where a guy on the ground is observing the Marauder and Quentin. And he's talking to 3K. And particularly, he's talking to a person named Zealot, and his name is Means. He wants to engage Quentin, and 3K is like, no, don't engage. He's not probably going to be able to find a subject anyway, so why do we need to? And finally, this dude kind of gets like fed up with it. And he's like, you know what, let's skip the code names. Cassandra Nova, who's supposed to be Zealot, and this guy is Wire. Now, unless you were a fan of Alpha Flight in the 90s, which I know some of you guys were, then you probably don't know who this is, because I didn't know who it was. I had to look him up. But yeah, he's a Alpha Flight villain. I think he worked with him for a hot second. But yeah, that's where this guy comes from. He hasn't been in much. But then we cut to elsewhere, where we see our little girl, who wasn't supposed to be a mutant, who is a mutant. She seems to be in a trance-like state, and she keeps repeating, gotta be free, gotta be free, gotta find it. And she finds it. She finds her dead space whale. So Temper is on Psylocke's dad's space bike doing the search, and she's talking to Quentin. And, you know, they're going kind of back and forth. And Quentin doesn't really know how to, like, console her. That's the whole reason why they broke up in the first place, because he's not good at saying, it'll be okay. Like, they'll find her. No, that's not Quentin's bag. Well, all of a sudden, the little girl kind of comes out of her trance for a second. Quentin locates her, and as soon as he locates her, he sends the coordinates to Temper. But then all of a sudden, there's a missile lock, and Wire goes in transmission and sends a Scud missile, whatever kind of missile, and brings down the Marauder, and Quentin goes flying. So all of a sudden, Magic realizes that she's talking out loud, and she's like, what happened to our psychic comms? And Cyclops is like, they're down. X-Men, this is a code red. So Temper saw the plane go down. She radios back to Scott. Scott immediately sends Magic, Juggernaut, and Zorn to her location. And she's like, it was over there. So then Magic's like, all right, come on, let's go. And Temper's like, I can't go, because Quentin just, before he got shot down, sent me the coordinates to the little girl, so I'm gonna go after her. Magic's like, hold on, time out, one of our own just went down and you want to go after the little girl? So Juggernaut's like, it's cool, just go after the little girl. And Magic is pissed at Juggernaut. It's like, what do you mean it's cool? What are you talking about? And then Juggernaut's like, hey, look, they used to be an item. Like, you want to take her to go see Quentin's dead body? Like, how's that going to work? And then Magic's like, you're right. All right, come on, let's go. So Cyclops is letting the rest of the factory know that the Marauder went down and this is an active war. So for all intents and purposes, get ready for combat. So then we cut the Temper. She finds a little girl. She runs over and she's like, are you okay? Here, let me warm you up. She's like, you're not cold. Why are you next to the space whale? And you're showing that you're a mutant. Like, how's that possible? And all of a sudden, she's like in that trance again, and something else is talking through her. She's like, oh, that was me. I went ahead and I shut down her mutant powers because I didn't want anybody to find out about me. You see, when we were in our mother's womb, Pepper ate me and absorbed me. But now, with this space whale here, I have the means to have a body of my own. And all of a sudden, her arms just started going crazy. So, pretty much in a nutshell, Cassandra Nova was the same thing Professor Xavier. I think she was a Mama Dre or something like that. Like, two fetuses are in the womb. They went to battle. One lost. Cassandra Nova lost, but she was like absorbed by Charles Xavier, and then later came about. If I'm not mistaken, I probably got that totally wrong. Please tell me in the comments. Let us all know exactly what happened between Charles Xavier and Cassandra Nova. But it's something similar to what I just said. Probably way off, but I'm kind of close. Kind of. But I guess this girl and whoever her sister or brother is, same way. They were in the womb. She won the fight between them by absorbing them and won the battle of being born. But they didn't go anywhere. They just lied dormant inside her until the conditions was right. now the gets is right, and now they feel like they can get their own body.